are the less racist options. Oh, look, they're outperforming them. And how you read this chart, by the way, we'll just take Newark, for example, where that's a standard deviation of 0.25. They're outperforming public schools. That means that those kids are essentially getting 180 days of extra learning compared to the public school option. This is all incredibly confusing. I think we need some help sorting out why charter schools are racist. So let's go to Liz Harrington. She's a staff writer at the Washington Free Beacon who has been covering this story. Liz, I want to ask you something. Please help me understand the logic here. How is giving students an option of a better school, thus providing for the potential closure of a failing school, racist?
Well, that's the argument that the Advancement Project is making, and you see in the complaints. This is an organization that has started, it's kind of one of these social justice umbrella groups, that they're starting this coalition funded by George Soros. He gave about $4 million to this group. And they're specifically going after the three cities you mentioned, and they're saying, hey, look, these public schools are closing and it's not right, and they're forcing minority students to go to different schools, and mainly charters. And what's interesting about, especially the New Orleans complaint, they list 5 public schools that will be closed at the end of this year. And in the complaint, they admit that all 5 are failing. 2 of the high schools have F grades. The other 3 have D grades. So they're defending these failing public schools. And I would also note that the Advancement Project, the coalition, which is called Journey for Justice, is heavily supported by teachers' unions. And I think that's definitely a factor at play here.
I have to think, Liz, that it's more than a factor, that this suit essentially becomes a proxy for some of the favorites of the left-wing movement. Khan pointed out a moment ago they use buzzwords like privatization and profiteers, and behind this suit lies the teachers' union, who eventually, that is who is being attempted to be protected here, those jobs for the teachers' union.
Right, and it's also interesting, too, because in New Orleans, specifically in the complaint, they say the experiment with charter schools has failed. And New Orleans has become the biggest charter school city in the country. And really, when you look at the statistics, New Orleans, since Katrina, has really, their education has bounced back completely. In 2004, there were only 54% of all the students graduating in New Orleans. Now, 10 years later, there's over 77%. So they're seeing huge progress in that city in particular, and it's largely due to the growth in the charter schools.
Right. Liz, we appreciate you filling us in tonight. Thank you. Just to
Thanks
illustrate a few of Liz's